This is episode number 16 of the Leg It podcast.
Why do you always snigger when you do that?
I don't know. This is episode number 16 of the Leg It podcast with myself, Tom Wickstead.
Myself, Andy Grant.
And we thought we would sit down and talk a little bit about the podcast and then also talk a little bit about goals as well. So this is episode number 16, which is mad because it was 2 months on the 11th of April, which is crazy considering like 16 episodes and the sort of different characters we've spoken to. And also how sort of, as I'll now name them, the Leg It podcast family. How, what's the right word? How engaged they are. And I think I've said this to you before off camera, off mic or whatever. And that's all you're doing, which is just fucking insane. How people will send a message, you know, if we ask people to do something, or you know, even just people sending messages in as well.
Since I started the kind of social media after I got blown up, the support has been incredible. That like I've received personally, but also other friends I've had who've been injured. You know, whether it's been the podcast this time or in the past, I've tried to raise money for charity, or I've tried to break that world record or climb the mountain. Social media is pretty cool for that.
Yeah.
You know, you become friends with people that you'd never would have met before, and you know, complete strangers become, you know, some of your greatest supporters and some of your greatest help. And yeah, it's been really humbling as well for you to see this, because again, I've been lucky that I've experienced it for a few years. It's been nice that you've been a part of this kind of challenge, and seeing the support that is out there.
Did you always, you know, when you first started getting into motivational speaking, did you think I need to push out more things with social media and stuff like that and have that like bit of a personal brand? Or did it was just never?
It's a good question. Actually, it's funny because when I started doing the speaking, I'm obviously not a businessman in that sense. And I was thinking, and I don't know, maybe the people who have followed me from kind of day one might be good to maybe message on this, but I think I've went through phases where I've done like cheesy photos of me running on the beach with like a quote and things like that, and I've really tried to be more professional. Yeah. And then there's been other times where I've done months and months on end of just posting pictures of me and Oppo, you know, my dog, and then more recently my daughter Alba. And then I think, that's not very business minded, is it, to be doing that? But then you speak to people and they say, oh, it's nice to see the personal side of you, that, you know, it's not just all this kind of corporate business talk. It's nice to see that you've got a normal life. And I think the motivational speaking that I do, it's not all about I've been blown up in Afghanistan and, you know, military talk, or, you know, motivational talk on professional standards and determination. I think sometimes I want to show people that I'm hopefully inspiring to people just by living a normal life. Just, you know, despite the adversities I've been through, I'm just still a normal dad. I'm still a guy who's got to get up when it's pissing down and walk the dog in the rain. And I think people like to see just normal people do normal. I think there's so much fake shit out there, which you spoke about on social media. I think, when I was doing the speaking and trying to create a bit of a profile, I've done both. I've done the cheesy stuff, and I've done the, listen, this is me just chilling out with my dog. What
about like worry? Because I sometimes, not really, I do in a way, but worrying about things. Cause obviously, I've got I've got a employer as such. Obviously not, which is not this podcast. But do you ever worry about what you put on social media? What like companies might think? You know, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I have these certain views on, if I have a certain view on, I don't know, let's say you had a certain view on legalising cannabis, which we spoke about before. Yeah. Some people might not want to push that out because they were, you know.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because when we started doing this podcast, I did think, you know, because I wanted to do the podcast because I wanted to just be myself. Not that I'm not myself when I do the speaking, but it's very kind of scripted in a sense, and I've polished it off, and it's, you know, really good presentation, you know, if I say so myself, but it's not me just being natural. And one thing I really enjoyed our podcast on Stories in Business, which it was just, you don't know what you're going to ask next or what the conversation's going to go or what I'm going to say that's going to prompt you. And I like that. But then I did think, fuck, what if I talk about getting drunk when I was 16, or I tried smoking pot when I was a kid, or I'd done this last week, or does it make me sound not professional and not really But then I thought, fuck it, man, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I do this speaking, and people, it's gone well because I've been employed by huge companies. I've been all around the world doing it. I know I'm good at it. If someone doesn't want to book me because I posted the picture last week of me celebrating at the Liverpool match, and they don't want to then, I don't know, they might
have something against Liverpool Football Club or something.
It could be as petty as, you know, I'm a massive Man United fan and I don't want to. It could be though, couldn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I probably, I mean, I'll never know, but I might have done myself out of some business because people have maybe thought I've been, I don't know, recommended by someone. They've had a quick look at my Instagram and then saw me, I don't know, doing something daft or something, or I've been on the piss or something, and I'm on a stag do with all the lads or something, half naked, and someone's put, oh well, he's not a very good motivational speaker.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to be that corporate. Like, I've seen some speakers, and again, I would say I'm a really positive person, and I don't like being negative and shitty about anything or anyone. But I do hate those corporate speakers who are just like
so regimented.
Yeah, and not really had any life experience. It's almost they've just read a load of books and being like, this is what you should do, and it's all very fuck that. Do you know what I mean? I'm myself, what I've been through. I've just tried to deal with it as best as I can, and now I just try and tell that story as best as I can.
Yeah, it's hard actually, because I was thinking about this the other day. You know, I can't remember what I was listening to, whether it was, anyway, it was another podcast or whatever, and they had just started, similar to sort of, I suppose, what route, and, you know, I'll always be honest that, you know, what route that we're hoping to go down is, you know, potential advertising and things like that, which can then, you know, help pay for equipment and blah, 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 blah. But what happens when you start to take advertisers on things like that, then in the back of your mind, you think to yourself, and this is what happened on this podcast I was listening to, is that I can't remember what the sponsor was, but they changed sort of how they changed the podcast because they were worried about what advertisers would think when they were talking, you know, so it is like there's a pressure. And also, funny enough, on that social media thing as well, what really winds me up, well, it doesn't wind me up, but you know when you see people say, what do they put, views of my own and not of my employer?
Oh yeah.
And then there's that big conversation. There is an actual conversation of who owns, especially with LinkedIn, who owns that person's profile? Does the business who you're working for own it? Because you're putting stuff out really, with all the individual. Yeah,
because you're kind of posting your views on behalf almost of them if it's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the podcast that Joe Rogan's on with the Twitter people was fascinating. Don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, when there was 4 of them. Yeah.
About all that social media stuff, but I think again you can get so caught up in it. Do you know what I mean? If someone's being a knob, it doesn't have to go as deep as in like, oh god, they work for or that.
Yeah,
it's just being a knob. Everyone's a knob now and again, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it can be quite murky, I guess. But no, I have thought about it and stuff, and I tend not to give a fuck anymore now.
Yeah,
I've seen a thing on a really good podcast. Is something called The Process. I don't know the guy who does it, but anyway, he basically talked about people's journeys, and he had a guy on called Lawrence. Lawrence, I can't think of his second name, but anyway, he does the True Geordie podcast with the True Geordie. It's the kind of his sidekick, and it was really interesting listening to him talk about kind of his journey that they've been through, and when they got advertising for the True Geordie podcast, I remember they had to kind of tone it down because this Brian, he's always dropping the C-bomb and he's this and he's that, and it's kind of like, yeah, you've got to kind of be careful on how whether you want to stay true to yourself or whether you think fuck it, you know. And he spoke a little bit about sitting down, my phone's off for the, you know.
All right, yeah. So I just had to go and move my car.
So the podcast not only is it a kind of couple of hours where the phone goes off and you're actually, like you say, really intently listening. It dawns on me, this might be just me personally, but I'm sure there are people who can relate. So my best mate moved out to New Zealand in January. So the couple of months before that, we just went out on a few mandates. Me and him, you know, went to Nando's and I think that was it, just went to Nando's, but done that a few times and just sat and chatted for an hour. Now, whether it's just me or everyone's like this, as blokes, I'm 30, I don't ever just go and see a mate, apart from when I'm doing the podcast with you now, but up until this podcast, I never used to go and see a mate and sit there without a beer. Do you know what I mean? I'd never go and sit in someone's house for a cuppa, or they'd never come to mine for a cuppa. Occasionally, now and again. But the only time you see all your mates, for me anyway, is if I go to the pub and speak to them. And then there's a big group here, so it's all you're having a laugh, there's footy on, and then after a couple of hours you're all pissed anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not that this chat where, how are you? What have you been up to? You know, what... So a couple of months before he was going to New Zealand, we went out, and it was this type of chat where I was sitting there, and it's like, fuck me, you never do this. No. So it is like therapy, I think.
It's a good point, that, actually. Never, like, if I think of all the time, all the sort of social occasions or seeing friends and things like that. I mean, yesterday I was in Manchester, but obviously that was just drinking. It is literally just drinking.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never.
Sad, isn't it?
It is actually. Yeah. I'll never just call up. Maybe when I was younger, but I'll never just call up someone now and just go, "Do you fancy? Can I just come round to yours?"
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've got mates in the Marines who, because we don't see each other all the time, there's like I'd say 3 or 4 lads who I ring up maybe once every 10 days or so, and I'll chat to them for like an hour or so on the phone, have a good catch up. But that's because I've been in the Marines with them. We've got quite a lot. Any of my mates from around here, I don't think I could ever ring any of them up, or they'd ring me and we'd chat for like an hour or 2 on the phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think that's why this whole it's good to speak men's health and mental health, I think, became a lot more, because men don't do it. You know, women will go round and have a chinwag over a coffee and all that, and while the kids are playing and stuff. Fellas just don't do that, do they?
Yeah. No, they do, yeah.
I think that's why maybe podcasts have become more popular, because it's a chance for fellas to do it, and there's just an excuse of a microphone in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Probably, yeah.
Because people do enjoy doing it, whether you're a man or woman. There's nothing better than just sitting down and having a good old rabbit about whatever you want to talk about. Get whatever off your chest. Yeah.
I think it would feel... Obviously, there's 2 microphones in front of us now, but I just feel, for me personally, it would just feel weird, you know, not having that drink next to you. You know, as sad as that sounds, I sound like a fucking alcoholic, but maybe it's just because you're just so pre-programmed now that... you know, if friends are around, let's get the beers and then the problem is that then it becomes every single weekend, which
it does happen though, because
and then a Friday and then a Sunday afternoon as well, and then it's the whole weekend which is just filled full of drinking.
No, I mean, listen, if Liverpool are playing tomorrow away to Cardiff, which will have been yesterday when people listen to it. If I don't go out and watch it, I probably won't see my mates all weekend. Do you know what I mean? Now, that's a poor excuse from me, but it's like, if I want to go and see my mates, I've got to go and have I could drink a Coke or an orange juice, but I think that is it is a sad kind of, and I think it is ingrained into us. Like, my dad, God, you should meet him. He's a nice guy, but I'll moan about him because he's my dad and I'm allowed to, but he when I went for a Nando's with Kev, my best mate, before he went to New Zealand, he went, "What the fuck he's going to Nando's for on a little date?" And I was like, "Well, he's going away, you know what I mean?" He's like, "Why don't you just go for a pint with him?" I said, "Well, I don't really want to drink, I've got things to do, and I just want to go and sit and have a chat with my mate." And he just could not understand why I didn't just go for a beer with him. It's,
rather than Nando's,
do you know what I mean? To him, it was like, "What 2 fellas go to Nando's?" I was like, "Well, me and my mate are doing it." Like, so, me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But women wouldn't think twice about going to Nando's or going wherever, would they? Have a tea or something?
They wouldn't know. But yeah, no, that I mean, sometimes I do feel like after, you know, I really, back end of last year, actually not long after we first met, which is mad September time, up until, it was probably about September time, I really started to think, really started to look at the months as a whole and go, when was I drinking then? Was it Friday, just quickly nip to the pub, and then Saturday? Because my problem is as soon as I start, I can't. And I really have to try to be a bit more disciplined with drinking. Because I felt at a point that it was just getting a little bit too much. Not only like from a bank account balance, a bank balance thing, and looking at how much you're actually spending on it, but just really like if I go out on a Saturday night now, on Monday morning I can still feel it.
Yeah, that's an age thing, that, isn't it? Yeah.
And I'm still lacking that motivation, that like, you know, go rocking up at work Monday. Yeah, I really can't be arsed for this. I could just sit home.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And then
it kind of links into what we wanted to talk about today in the podcast with goals, because again, I find I kind of flirt with two camps, you know, on one, and I'm very easily swayed. I think that's a negative of mine. I'm a bit irrational in the sense of
if I say, do you want to come for a drink? And then you say no, and I go, oh, come on, you'll go, oh yeah,
mate, I'll be at the bar already. But yeah, I'm very what's the word when you like jump at things? You're a bit
impulsive.
Yeah, very impulsive. Yeah, which is a negative. I think I'm very impulsive, and I'm very sometimes irrational, and I don't really think things through too much. And
it can be a good thing being impulsive, I think.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because you just go and fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But sometimes I'll have these.
That's not like, yes, yeah. It is a good.
Yeah,
it's
I know
a good
what you're
and a
saying,
bad.
but yeah. So my example is, for example, we want to talk a bit about goals and stuff this podcast. So I will be like, you know, right, and I put this down to, this isn't me making excuses, but I put this down to what I've been through in life, as in losing my mum at a young age, being blown up, losing the ability to have kids, the kind of big things. I don't mean just that, like the big things which I felt have been hard for me to get over, and have made me look at life differently. So I'll have kind of, right, I want to smash the gym 6 times a week. I want to go, you know, do this Monday, that Tuesday, I've emails for this time. I've got Alba these days. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. All goals regimented. I'm not going to drink now until whenever, or all that. And then,
mate, I was just going to say, when you just mentioned Alba and doing this and that, mate, I don't know how you manage sometimes, you know, like, because you got this now, the motivational talking all over.
It's good. I mean,
like
it keeps
Liverpool
me busy and
Football
stuff.
Club.
Yeah, it takes a big part. But like, I'll have all these, for example, like a planned week. Yeah, so for example, Sunday I want to go and watch the football. Monday I've got Alba. I don't even. Anyway, I've got a planned week all week.
Yeah.
I can't even think what it is. But if someone says to me though, or something, on, for example, Tuesday afternoon, oh mate, if I had a mate from down south and he was happened to be in Liverpool, I went, oh mate, I'm in town, are you about for a beer? I'd be like, right, yeah, fuck the gym, or fuck it, and I'd be gone. And I think
I'll leave Alba at home.
Yeah, Alba can make her own way home from school. So and I think that comes back to me thinking, fuck it, man, you live once, like, you know what I mean?
We're not here for a long time.
And exactly. And I think I used that excuse too much, to be honest. I used that, fucking hell, like, who knows, you know, it's only money. Like,
yeah.
And so sometimes I'll have these kind of maybe financial goals where I want to save X amount each month, or I'm not really too materialistic in that sense, but I might say, oh, I want this, or I want to go here or go there, so I need to save. But then something will come up, like, you'll go, mate, do you want to grab a beer after this? Or you want to go here? I'll be like, the money won't come into it. I just think, fuck it, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, I probably don't respect it enough because I think of I just think, fuck it, man. Like,
do you think as well, because obviously you're self-employed, so it in some respects it's good and bad, because you can just go, if suddenly a Wednesday evening I go, I'm off work on Thursday or something, and I go, right, let's go mental. You can
let's go mental.
No, you can just go, yeah, let's go mental. I don't work the next. You know, unless you've got a speaking thing or what.
Yeah,
that
is the good thing about being self-employed in that sense. And
but that can be I think that can be a bad thing as well, because like work for me, from getting on the office at 8 through to 6 p.m. leaving, like that keeps me quite disciplined. That I don't go, Thursday evening or whatever, let's go mental, because I've got
keeps
work
you
on
grounded,
Friday.
I guess, doesn't it? Yeah, and that's been the problem with me in the past, definitely. You know, on a Sunday, I think I used the example, I think we might have spoke about it, but I definitely spoke about it in my book. You know, I got pensioned off, so I wasn't a millionaire, but I had money coming in. And on a Sunday, Liverpool would be on 4 o'clock, we'd be in the pub from maybe 2, 8, 9 o'clock comes, lads are saying, right, I've got work in the morning. I'm like, fuck that, come on, have another one.
Yeah.
And then you stay out, because I've not got to get up for work the next day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then maybe Liverpool are on the Champions League on a Tuesday or Wednesday. and it's like, well, I'm not fucking at work the next day. Come on.
Yeah.
So it can be a slippery slope as well.
Yeah.
And that's where I think discipline is so key in everything, and that's sometimes I talk about, but I don't always, preach it in my own personal life. I'm disciplined in the sense when it comes to work, or I've got a speaking gig or this and that, but in my own personal, what I like to do and stuff, and I can probably I'm a little bit too hard on myself, but I always think with the running and stuff, when I broke that 10k record, it was I just thought, fuck it, I've done it. I look back now and think if I'd carried on training at that level, I would have brought that time down even further, and I could have done a 5k time faster and stuff. But my own.
Would you try for the fight? Would you try and do it now? 5k.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I've got a few running goals I want to try and do. Yeah, I want to run 5k in under 18 minutes. I want to run.
Fucking hell, that's quick.
10k in under 37, and I'd like to run 10 miles in an hour, so 6-minute mile pace for an hour. So it's like, even when I was doing that 10k, right? This is
10 miles in an hour.
Yeah, that's one of my running goals. Yeah, I've only got those 3 running goals now. But even that, though, that's what I'm saying. This is how my personality works, which is daft. When I teamed up with Tony Clark, my running coach, he said, right, obviously you need to cut the booze out and don't be, And then I'd speak to people in the gym. A mate of mine in the gym, and he goes, just don't drink lager. Do you know what I mean? Just drink gin and slimline. There's no calories in that.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I'm not going to drink lager, but I can't say I'm never going to drink for like 4 months. I just didn't think I could do it because, again, you wouldn't see me mates, I wouldn't see me dad. So I'd go out still and just drink gin and slimline. So I think, fuck, if I'd stopped doing that, I would have ran it even quicker. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I struggle with that. They're having a goal and working towards it and being disciplined and thinking, fucking hell, you got blown up 10 years ago, fucking, your mum died when she was 36, fucking live a little.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's constantly the constant battle that I've got when kind of trying to be disciplined and setting a goal.
What about any other adventures or anything like that? Because I know I could sort of see it in your eyes after James Ketchell.
Oh mate, how inspiring was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I think we've had it. Loads of people love that, by the way. Like, loads of mates were like, "Fucking hell, makes you want to go and do something." Yeah,
one of my friends said, "Yes, why don't you go and meet him halfway around the world? See how do an update."
Mate, we should. The Lega podcast goes on tour.
Yeah.
Wait till he gets somewhere cool though.
Yeah. I don't want Siberia. Fucking Miami.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, mate.
But rowing the Atlantic is the sort of overarching.
You were like, nah, I'm not doing anything. No, and then an hour later, you're ringing me going, do you want to row the Atlantic?
To be fair, I did start watching YouTube clips. The only YouTube clips I sort of really watched was people just rowing into the harbour once they'd finished with the flare.
Yeah, you don't show
a piece of business.
Well, so one guy, Lee Spencer, we're going to get him on. He's a mate of mine in the Marines. He'd done 22 years in the Marines, had a road traffic accident, lost his leg, and he's just rowed across the Atlantic, broke 2 world records. He'd done it in 50 days. I rang him up and I said, fuck me, superstar, what was it like? And he said, horrible. It was the worst thing he ever decided to do.
Really?
But one thing he said, which fascinated me, was he said, I don't mind being scared. I've been scared a lot of times in my life. I can handle that. And he says, I don't mind being alone. I don't actually quite like being on my own sometimes. He said, it's very different being scared and alone. He said, I didn't like that. But the way he said it,
that's so eerie.
I was like, fucking hell. I'm going to have to get him to say it again on the podcast because this is on the phone. And I thought, yeah, because you only hear the nice stories and you only see, like you say on YouTube, people coming into the harbour after this row. You don't get to experience being scared and alone in the middle of the night. It's dark. There's fucking no one around. The waves are hitting the sides and there's no one who's going to save you. Do you know what I mean? That's the scary bit.
Yeah, it is actually. But the way James Ketchell, the way he just came across, he was like, yeah, it was a piece of cake. Don't row the Atlantic too easy. Row the Indian Ocean. Bit more of a challenge. But I don't have any goals as such as that, anything like that. To be fair, my sort of overarching statement of life has been ambitious but rubbish. And after that, I did think to myself, oh, God, I'd love to row the Atlantic.
Well, what are your goals, though? Your goal, I'm guessing, career-based goals, more so.
Yeah, I mean, I look at things just. I mean, it's sad, really, but I look at things like financially and just think, like, I think a real goal for me is, sounds cheesy, but financial freedom, and whatever that is, you know. And will I ever attain that? I don't know. But that is.
But on that, then, sorry, what level then? Because the reason I ask is because it's a really interesting topic, and I think it's a bit of a taboo subject as well. Money, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's an advert on at the moment, isn't it, saying like money. You know, we should talk about it and stuff more. And it's a bit of a weird subject, but what to you is financial freedom? Like, how much money are you talking about? Because you could say, you know, I don't have to work and I've got $2,000 coming in a month and I don't have to work. And you might say, well, fucking hell, I don't have to do anything and I've got $2,000 a month coming in. That could be deemed as financial freedom.
Yeah.
You could have 10 grand. You want 10 grand is to you financial freedom. What's this?
I suppose that is part of the problem is that I don't have a specific actual level that. I mean, for me, I've always thought of that number of, if I'm being honest, like maybe when you're 60 or 70, £1 million. If you've got £1 million pot, that is a lot of money. But I think obviously when you're younger, you've got, you know, I'm 26, so you got more. You got
expenses.
Yeah. I mean, 10 million. I think that is.
No, but I mean,
look, it's easy for me to just say numbers and go.
Being realistic in this sense, though, if I said to you, right, Tom, you don't have to work. You know, you've made shrewd investments. You don't have to get up in the morning and work.
You know me.
You can just do hobbies. You can go cycling, do podcasts. You can do all this. I'm going to give you X amount a month to get you by. What would be where you go? Yeah, no, I'd be happy with that.
I'd still have to pay all my expenses, like pay for the house at the moment.
Things that you need to do. So yeah, like you've got your mortgage, and then you've got to think to yourself, I like to eat out once a week, or I like to do this. What would be a wage where I could go, a monthly wage, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month? What would you be happy with?
Yeah, I'd be happy with $5,000 a month. Yeah,
$5,000 a month. And that'd be you financially. You class yourself then as, I don't have to.
No, $10,000 a month.
It's just double straight away.
Mate, it's so difficult to put a number. Like,
it's such an interesting subject, right? Because it is one for me, right? And I think again, this comes from the people you surround yourself by. I've grown up in Bootle, right, with my dad and my mates, and no one's ever been rich or had loads of money type thing. We've just all been working class, you know. And I think if people looked in, they'd say it's a hard upbringing. But you know, listen, I loved it. It was great. Never had much money, but we always got by. When I've kind of I got blown up, got a bit of compo, got myself on the property ladder, and then I got pensioned off. Far from a millionaire, you know, nowhere near it. But to me, it was financial freedom, because all I ever knew was what I knew.
Yeah.
So getting paid and not having to get up and work. Again, I'm not a millionaire. I don't live on a beach. I'm not away every week doing this and that what I want. I've not got a Bentley. I'm not.
Yeah.
But to me, that's financial freedom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Whereas maybe, I don't know, let's for example say you've grown up in, you know, in a fucking castle and this and that, and someone says to you, you're going to get X amount a month, you'd be like, hell, I need more than that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
And it comes back to what Paul Cheatham said, you know, let's say you got your $10,000 a month financial freedom, your circles would then change, and then you'd think, oh, maybe $20,000 a month, maybe I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. It's so difficult to answer. I'd say the one thing that sort of I'm sort of guilty of, and I really, really want to try and get away from it, is I do have a little bit of comparing to the Joneses, or at least keeping up with the Joneses. You know, with just going, you know, like for example, I was at Duke's 92 in Manchester yesterday, drinking. And this guy, he must have been, I was saying to you before, must have been 23, 24. Had a red, brand new Lamborghini Aventador. And you think to yourself, fucking hell, I'm doing something wrong here. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Definitely not a drug dealer, because if you're a drug dealer, I mean, he's a fucking stupid drug dealer if you're going to drive around in a bright red Lamborghini Aventador. But that is one problem. That is a thing that I do need to. whether it's houses or whether it's car, or seeing what other people are, have got. Even as mad as like, I'll be at it sounds so ridiculous, but I'll be at a bar and someone's queuing, and then like I'll see the sort of watch that the person's got on and go, wonder what they do, or fuck, I like that watch. I want
really,
yeah.
You know what? I love this type of talks. I think it's fascinating how people view things and what they aspire to and goals and stuff. And there's no right or wrong with anything. It's just an interesting subject. I feel a little bit like I've kind of seen it all. I kind of maybe grew up too quick because of just being blown up when I was 20, and then charity events that I got to and the networking that I'd done. And I've got a lot of friends who are multi-millionaires, and I've got to go to their homes, go to their parties, go on holiday with them and do all these things. And if you like famous people in some sense, and you're around people with money and people who are successful. And I think if I'm from an outsider, for example, let's just say you, for example, you've never seen any of this, you're like, fucking hell, wow, their car, their house, their watch, their this, their that. When you become friends with these people and you speak to them on a level like we are now, you realise it's not fucking everything, you know.
No, I know. And
I know it's like, oh, money's not everything, it's that old saying. But I've literally spoke to friends, good friends of mine, and they're like, they've got the 60 grand watch on, and they've got this, and they've got that, and they've got the cars and the holiday homes. And I'm not saying they're all unhappy, and they'll be the first to say money helps, but it's not like this.
Yeah. I mean,
Paul
said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I just think, with that, personally, I just think you kind of just get not used to it, but I think if you see, unless you win the lottery, you're not earning 15 grand a year and then suddenly you jump to £1 million a year. There is a gradual, you earn 15, then 30, then 45, blah, 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 blah. So I think on that journey, when you were just talking that sort of money isn't everything, I think, this is my opinion anyway, I think that because you're on this slow growth, 99.9% people are on this slow growth up to that figure. I think you just become used to it. Do you not think?
Mate, I think the journey is better than the end goal.
Oh, mate, 100%. But it's so like
at
that.
The time,
enjoy the journey and all that is so easy said. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a bit of a mug. Like I people might be listening to this, and because I don't work a 9 to 5, they think, oh, like he doesn't know. I've never worked a 9 to 5, to be honest. I worked Sainsbury's when I was a kid. Before I joined the Marines, that was it. I worked in the Marines, and
what
then
did you do at Sainsbury's?
On produce.
Your own produce, fresh produce.
I'm loving it.
Could you choose which area? No, you just got
I got trained up on the tills, and they'd shout now and again when it was busy. But I once put I didn't know what a bit of fruit was that they put through, and I just guessed. And the woman was like, that's not a melon or something. I was like, what the fuck is it then? I don't know.
Put it through as an onion.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't cut out for that world. But
would you? What about if, say, for example, I don't know. Say you had to get a 9 to 5 job now.
Nah, I couldn't.
Could you not do it? No. What would you even like?
But again, it's like you talk about having financial freedom, and you want to do this and you want to do that. You know what I enjoy doing? The little things. So it sounds so meaningless, but for me, I get so much joy. Right, wake up in the morning. And again, I don't want anyone thinking this. He does 9 to 5. He's a millionaire. Fucking far from it. You know what I mean? But I get up in the morning. I take Albert to school if Albert stays over. If not, I'll walk the dog. Then I'll go to the gym. Go and see my dad. Do emails. And just have it's not a relaxed day because I'm doing all the things I need to do. And sometimes I'm really busy. But on days when I'm not doing the talking, I take pleasure out of catching up with friends, catching up with family.
It's good that actually. Yeah.
I spend 2 hours in the gym, an hour working out, an hour in the sauna, and again it comes back to some people might not see the parents maybe once a month or something. I get to see my dad every day.
Yeah.
I go round, have a coffee with him. How are you? Do you want to come walk the dog with me? So I enjoy those little things now. So what financial freedom's done to me, it's not give me a mansion. I live in a semi-detached house. It's not give me a Bosch brilliant car. I've got a Vauxhall Astra. It's not give me any holiday homes. It's not give me any of these things that you think, wow, financial freedom. It's give me time to go, you know what, I want to go to the gym. I want to go and walk the dog. I want to go and pick my little girl up from school. I want to go and see my dad. And I think that's where I became a little bit more mature, in the sense that I'm not like so... I've got a few nice materialistic things, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like maybe as much into it as maybe some people.
Yeah, surprising, yeah.
And
Well, yeah, and you don't have... I mean, have you ever had a figure in your mind or anything like that, or like saving or pension, like, you know,
not
or
really, no. No, not really. I just try and live like, if I want to do something, I do it.
Mate, it's so good that you're able to just you know, even like seeing your dad and spending time.
But again, it sounds so cheesy, doesn't it? Oh,
Mate, it does, yeah. But I tell you what, ever since, you know, it's something happened to my dad a few weeks ago, and you know, it just, I think it really reinforces sometimes that you really need to spend so much more time with people.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, my grandma's in a home at the moment, and to be honest, I haven't really, you know, you see, that's another tricky thing, because she's in a home and I haven't seen her in like 3-4 months, but I hate going round there.
Yeah.
You know, in those homes, it's,
hard,
just fucking horrible.
It's horrible, mate,
But like, yeah, it's just, mate, it's quality.
And I think going through adversity, what I've been through, and the challenges, it gives you that perspective, which, you know, not everyone will have if they haven't been through that. Cause it's like that thing, you know, I remember my mum used to always say to me, you know, if I didn't eat my tea, she'd say, there's kids starving in Africa, you know, eat your food. But yeah, that's got no context, because you're like, well, I don't know. Whereas now I can say, you know, going through what I've been through and experience how sometimes life can be unfair, it gave me this perspective to maybe go after the little things a bit more, rather than go after like, I want £1 million in the bank, or I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, which I said before about this, like the process of going on it, the journey, because I think people want things too quick now, like, and I think that's why they're becoming not as enjoyable. And I was thinking about this on the way on driving yesterday when we were talking about the podcast and about goals. This is my stupid example, so bear with me, right? But I loved my journey of becoming a Marine. In some ways, wanting to be a Marine was almost better than being a Marine. That wanting it to be, have I got what it takes? Can I earn this Green Beret? You know, am I fit enough? Am I mentally strong enough?
What, looking back or during it?
Both, I think.
Even
Both.
during it,
I love the kind of, am I going to pass this test? Have I got what it takes? You know, this is hard, but don't quit. You know, I love that. And I look back now thinking the same. Like, and the reason, my little analogy of this, and tell me if I'm talking shit or not, but I'm 16, I see an advert on the TV. I always remember it. My dad was sitting on the computer about maybe 8 or 9 at night. My sisters have gone to bed. Just me and my dad sitting there. I'm 16 at the time. Advert for the Royal Marines. And at the end of it, it says 99.99% need not apply. I was in sixth form at the time, hating life, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I knew I didn't want to stay at sixth form. And my dad says flippantly, you know, why don't you look at doing something like that? So I was like, right, okay. Didn't have a smartphone on me, so I couldn't look on my phone straight away. Couldn't look on Instagram or nothing like that. It was just this idea of an advert. And I couldn't go on the computer because my dad was on it. So, okay, sat with this idea, went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, jumped on the computer like that evening after sixth form. But again, it's an old school computer, shit computer. And it was
you can't phone because
couldn't phone anyone, didn't. Yeah, it was one where you had the line on. Yeah,
get off the computer, I need the phone.
Exactly, one of them. And it was like an MOD website. You know, a paragraph or so about the Marines, what it is. So fuck all basically information. Just this idea of someone telling me 99.99% need not apply. And it was just this challenge. It was like, fucking hell, God, I wonder if I've got what it takes there. So it's in my head. To find out more information, I needed to go to the careers office in town. Okay, obviously didn't drive or nothing at the time. So I needed to go walk down the street and get the bus into town. On that bus into town, I'm thinking about all the things I want to ask these Marines, what it's like, how long's the training for, where do you serve, what do you do, everything is all going on in my mind. I get there, I speak to this guy, he gives me more information, more like pamphlets and leaflets and stuff, and I'm talking to him more and more. Then I go home, and then I think I went to the library on the way home, got a book, and then I'm telling my dad about it, and he's telling me a bit more what he knew about it. And before I knew it, there was a guy who he knew from the pub who was ex-Marine, so then I spoke to him. So this was all over maybe the space of a couple of weeks. And in the space of those couple of weeks, I'm constantly thinking in my mind, oh, next time I see someone, I need to ask them this, or wonder what that bit's like and this bit's like. So this process of being in the Marines, before I've even filled in an application form, I've had like these few weeks of all this information going on in my head. Then I join the Marines, and then that journey starts. Okay, that's why I loved it so much. Compare that to now, right? And I get this quite a lot on Instagram or Twitter. Someone will message me and say, I'm thinking about joining the Marines, any advice? And I just say, lots of body weight stuff, press ups, pull ups, sit ups, and 3, 4, 5 mile runs. Okay, and I say, and don't give up. Now, if you're a 16-year-old lad and you want to join the Marines, an advert might pop up.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to go through that same process I went through. All you need to do is maybe go on Instagram, would be the first point of call for a 16-year-old. Type in Royal Marines or something. And for example, I might then pop up, I don't know, or the Royal Marines, or there's something. You click on it, you can have a quick scroll through their Instagram. People might look at mine and think, fucking hell, he's a Marine, but his Instagram's shit, or fucking hell, he's fucking got one leg or something, don't want that or something, or or they look at the Marine thing and they'll think, oh, well, it's not as much info. And then that's it then. And then, you know, the phone might go off and they might be in a WhatsApp group. And then suddenly the mind goes. And then that all the kinds of 2 or 3 weeks of, all right, what is this Royal Marines all about? And that builds the excitement. They don't have that. Yeah. It's so instant.
You've just found out.
They just found out, oh, that looks a bit shit, that.
Yeah, think.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that instant success. And I think that's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's an example of a career choice. But it's the same, I think. Like, it's the same in most things. If it's too quick, if your goals are too easy to get, it's pointless.
Yeah. Well, there's that big with people winning the lottery. What's the percentage of people who have lost? I think there's a mad percentage of people who when they win the lottery, I think it's 5 or 6 years later, how much of them have got anything left? And it's madness.
Yeah.
Because it is instant.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, also a lot of things now is there's a lot of things on the internet of, not financial freedom, but like quick money things and that sort of thing. And, you know, listen, I've fallen for things like that before, and, you know, but
you do though. Like, I get it why people.
Yeah.
And again, I sound like I may be the wrong person to say this because I don't work a 9 till 5, and it's always easy to say something if you're not in it, isn't it?
Just gonna find that statistic.
Yeah. But it's easy, you know, to say something if you're not part of it. But I feel like saying, like, it's not the be all and end all. Again, not that I'm in any position to say it, because I'm not a millionaire, but that process from probably one of the happiest times of my life was when I was in training for the Marines, you know, trying to push myself to see if I had what it takes to be a Marine. It's not these, you know, if someone had said to me, oh yeah, you know, I can get you a fake uniform and a green beret and a Royal Marine Commando on your arm, just say you're a Marine, it wouldn't feel as good. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that process of, have I got what it takes, you know, putting the hours in. They're the goals I think that feel the best.
But that I can't seem to find it. Just says about 20 lottery winners who's blown it all. But that journey thing, who was that? I was having this conversation with my MD the other day, actually, at work, about this journey thing. Because a lot of people say, enjoy the journey. It's all about the journey, which, look, I get it. And it is, you know, you do need to enjoy that journey. But the problem is, I fucking don't. Yeah. You just want something now, and, you know, I'm guilty of that. Really am. That journey thing is, yeah, you know, it's the same with this podcast. You know, enjoy. I suppose I can't really compare it to this podcast, but just enjoying that journey thing. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, like, I look at my sisters and stuff, and one's just changed jobs and the other one's in a job, and she's just like, And there's no real goal in the sense, because I think that 9 till 5 can, from speaking to friends and people I know, it can fucking drive you, it can put you in a fucking early grave, can't it? In a sense, and what I find, it's hard to speak to people who, for example, again, go back to my dad, I've got this obviously different attitude because I don't do that 9 till 5. So I'm a bit more, you know, I can go to the gym and walk the dog, do those things I've said. When I then speak to him, he's got that, oh, mate, you wouldn't fucking know what it. Don't talk to me about motivation, or don't give me none of this your little pep talk, because I can't be fucked with it. And that's what that kind of, it's done to him. Do you know what I mean? I almost wish that, you know.
Why? What does he say to you where he says?
Just like most people, you know, if he's been in work, and then I'm like, oh, come on, do you want to come and do this? He's like, mate, no, I've fucking been in work all day. I just want to sit and fucking. He's alright for you. You've not done it. Like, he's one of them, and you can just see it gets him down. It's not an enjoyable job where he's like, he's still positive and he's still this and he's still that. Just that daily grind.
Is he a firefighter?
He's a fireman, yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
He retires in 6 months, so he's just at the end of his tether with it. Yeah. And I wish there was a way of, like, it just, Joe Rogan's done something about it, and he basically says, you know, there should be a way for us to live where none of us have to work this kind of 9 till 5 routine. You know, there's got to be a way where we can all, like, enjoy financial freedom, not on the level of, like, we're all millionaires, but, like, you know, just do stuff you enjoy, almost, you know.
Yeah, it's easier said. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, one of the things, like, in the next 10, 20 years that they're worried about is how automation and robots taking over from humans' jobs, aren't they? And then this whole thing that, because they're taxing robots now, I think, which is mad.
Well, if you get a robot to do the job, you have
it's
to pay more
taxed a
tax
certain,
or something.
something. I don't know if it's in this country or somewhere else, but to try and, you know, because obviously it's so much cheaper. The capital cost outlay initially is high for the robot, but
that's crazy.
It works 24 hours. You know, it doesn't complain. It doesn't have any holidays. But then the future is that universal. Is it universal? Like a universal pay. So of all the jobs that automation is taken, you know, like lorry drivers, because you'll have automated lorries and blah blah blah, is to then pay lorry drivers a wage. But then what comes with people if you just give them money each month, you know? Which is I you know, if I was just fucking hell, yeah, I would. But you know, which is so dangerous, because if look, you've been given some money where you've just been given $2,000 each month, you're probably in the minority, I suppose, of, you know, because you've done things about it.
I'm so fortunate, mate, to not. Yeah, I'm not like moaning about it at all. I'm so lucky.
But to then just get money paid, what does that do? Because we all have to work, right? We need some sort of work to be able to, you know, to have goals, and then to, you know, because, you know, I sometimes not moan or complain about work because things have gone wrong and stuff like that. But, you know, that really keeps me grounded, that job, and, you know, keeps me.
That's 100% why I'm saying enjoy the journey, because I went through proper downhill. Relationship broke down with Alba's mum. I done things I shouldn't have done. I gambled too much. I drank too much, and it's because I never had that goal, that purpose, that drive. I wasn't on a journey. I was kind of at the end of, you know, if someone had said to me, you know, at 24 you're going to be living, you know, mortgage free, have a couple of grand a month, and you don't have to get up, I'd think fucking perfect, great. My journey had ended almost. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't on a journey anymore. I was on a journey of self-destruction, if anything. And that's why I say enjoy the journey, although it's a graft. I'd rather be working hard, grafting towards something, than sitting there thinking, I'm fucking bored now. I've got this money, I've got this house, I've got this car. What shall I do? Because there's only one way down then, isn't there?
Yeah.
I remember speaking to a mate years ago, and he said, I kind of said something along the lines of what we're talking about. I said, you know, where do you want to peak? You know, what's your peak? And he says, I don't want to. I said, I'd love the thought of just being on this trajectory, and I never ever get there.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people say that, yeah.
And I thought, is that not frustrating to never know where? Yeah. And he said, no. He said, I'd love the thought of just never ever getting there, but you constantly...
A lot of people who I spoke to on the other Pod Stories and Business podcast is, you know, when they sold their company, and I think Paul mentioned it actually, when they sold their, you know, they've been working their whole life, they'd set up this company, you know, when they sold this company, it was the worst day of their life, because, which is mad really, because you'd think you've just sold it for X amount of money, but because then there was nothing like what's
Nothing there,
next.
yeah.
You're not, what's
It's
next.
that Del Boy moment when he becomes a millionaire at the end, and he's like, well, what do I do now? And I think though as well, right? And this is a quite sad story. On my drive home, I was in Cornwall for a week, and I drove home yesterday, and I went to fill my car up with petrol, and got into the service station. I got a couple of these fucking horrible sausage rolls that they have in this fucking service station.
The ones on the
Shit.
rollers.
Oh, they were horrible. I was so hungry though.
Oh God, you didn't,
Anyway,
did you?
Bought like a chocolate bar, a packet of crisps or whatever, and a can of Red Bull, and paid for the petrol. And she said, you can have the sausage rolls, but she was sniffling when she said it. And I kind of looked at her, and then she's muttering under her breath, and I said, is everything okay? And she said, no, it's not. She said, me ex-husband's just dropped dead, but it's me kids, it's the dads, they love him, and I need to go and see them. And she was like, this fucking, my boss won't send anyone down, and I'm stuck here, and I want to go home and see my kids, and oh God, and I was like, is there anything I can do? And she said, no, thanks love, I'm sorry, but and then I just got in my car and drove. And it's like, it's moments like that, you think you have all these, your 9 to 5 work, and life can change like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad, isn't it? And that's life. And I think because I've had moments like that with losing my mum, getting blown up and things like that, that's why I'm more of the mind frame of just, fuck it, man. Like,
Just do
you
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to, though, get that across to people who are stuck in that 9 till 5 thing. Like me saying, oh, fuck it, man, it's hard because they've maybe not got that backup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I wish there was something to do. You could do about it.
What about do you then try and spend more money on experiences then and not materialistic things? Like, have you ever been materialistic, or like we all have bouts of wanting things?
Yeah, I mean,
don't
I've
we?
got like a couple of really decent watches.
Yeah.
I've not even got it on. I don't even wear it. Do you know what I mean?
I'll wear it for you.
Yeah. Got a couple of really nice watches. But car wise, just normal car, normal house.
Yeah, I've never really anything.
The watches are probably my biggest expense. Got 2 decent watches, that's it. I don't think,
Even for me, clothes or anything like that. I've never really been into.
I remember months ago, well, years ago actually, I was in a pub, and my mate walked in. He's like not a mate, but like a lad I kind of know. And someone said something about his trainers, and I'm shit with fashion anyway. And I said, to me, they didn't look that nice, and they were something like £800, these pair of trainers. And I was like, fuck me, you paid 800 quid for them? He said, yeah, do you not like them? I was like, they're alright, like, I think I was on mine with like 60 quid or something. Anyway, the lad's mortgage was £600 a month. The lad's rent was £600 a month. I don't fucking understand that.
Yeah.
He's paying £800 for a pair of trainers. He's got a missus and kids at home, and the rent for the fucking house is only 600. So I'm not materialistic like that. No. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people, there's a lot of that though. Weekend millionaires and things like that, and especially
I've never been one like that. And I just think, like,
I tell you what, we're talking about weekend millionaires. The most embarrassing thing, and someone did it yesterday as well, is the most embarrassing thing a grown man can do in a bar is order bottle service when a waitress brings a bottle of champagne out with a sparkler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was this?
This in Manchester. And you just think, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why?
You see that a lot in Ibiza?
Yeah.
Ocean Beach Club last year.
There is nothing more showy-offy than... Mate, and some people go, I was at Nikki Beach in Koh Samui, Thailand. And someone, mate, they do this Sunday brunch thing or whatever. It's like... And the most expensive one is like where someone gets carried out, like a girl gets carried out.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. They have similar things in Ocean Beach Club.
Yeah.
One was in a bathtub. Someone got brought out of a bathtub with champagne and stuff. Yeah,
something like 50 grand or something.
No. What do you feel about this? Going off subject a little bit, but to do with money side of things. Did you see in France all these billionaires chipping together, and they've raised like 700 million to rebuild this church?
Someone showed me literally, I think when did the fire happen?
It's last week sometime, wasn't it?
And then someone said, "Oh God, have you seen how much they've raised? They've raised 600 million euros." And I thought to myself, it's not even been fucking 24 hours.
Yeah,
like it was like 5 p.m.
That to me was like just summed up everything that was wrong with humanity.
Hasn't a guy from Gucci dropped or L'Oreal? Or
the guy who owns Gucci, I think he's dropped half a billion.
Wait, I thought it was 100 mil. Anyways,
there's one guy who's give up 500 million. All the fucking problems going on in the world, right?
For a building.
It was sad. It was sad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all the
should find out who.
All the injustice in the world, the pain and the suffering going on, of people living on the streets and people fucking starving, and yet people can just give 500 million to a fucking church that's fucking burnt down.
Yeah. The billionaires' donations will turn Notre Dame into a monument to hypocrisy.
It's just a fucking joke. That pissed me off. That did actually. I'd done something. I retweeted something. It got quite a few things. Some it wasn't what I'd said, but it was a screenshot of something that got sent.
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's
so true.
Mate, look. So you've got. In 3 days, the cathedral has been pledged 100 million euros from. That's obviously not the total, but from. Let me just.
That's like a dick swinging competition, that though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once someone's saying, fucking Jimbo's give 100 mil, I'll have to give 100 mil or something,
It's like when you go to those. I was in Southport for a boxing, like charity boxing thing. The biggest sort of like dick swinging thing is like those auctions. And there's always that one table that you think, how have they managed? Like, how are they able to pay $5,000 for it? Cathedral has been pledged 86 million from the owner of Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent, the Arnault family of Louis Vuitton fame, another 200 mil from L'Oreal owners.
But you know what? This is all just my own. I could be talking complete bollocks here, but I bet you these are the people who aren't paying corporation tax and are getting out of paying tax and all that. But then they look good by going, oh yeah, but we'll give 100 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Do they need to be named?
Exactly as well. Why don't you just do it on the sly?
Yeah.
I fucking hate people like that.
200. Then the source. 200 million euro pledge from France's richest man, Bernard Arnault. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Okay, mad.
But yeah, like you say, just do it on the sly.
Yeah,
that's just fame. Wanting people to, look at me, how great am I?
Well, I suppose that is.
And it's backfired a little bit. Everyone just thinks they're knobs now, don't they?
Yeah, that is a big thing. Like if a lot of people, who are you doing charity for? There's some people do say things that, is it Red Note? Is it Sports Relief or something? And there's people on the TV doing things, celebrities doing things. It's like, what are you actually? You doing it for you doing it for your profile, or are you doing it for?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but at the same time, they are raising money, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we've been quite negative here, haven't we? Yeah. It's because it's quite it's sad when you're when that. Yes, it's just sad when people are. What I'm trying to say.
But any other goals really? I apart from that one sort of whisper of a challenge of rowing the Atlantic came into my mind for an hour and then fucking quickly disappeared.
I'd love to row the Atlantic. I'd love to actually row it with Ian, the lad I got blown up with.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that'd make a good story. You blown up together, you row the Atlantic together. That'd be quite cool to do, I think. But I think with goals as well, for me personally, you
should do that. You should do it.
Cost a lot of money though. Cost 150 grand to ask that fella from France to fucking give me
set up a Just Giving page.
Fuck the church, give me 150 grand so I can row the Atlantic.
It's not 150 grand, surely not.
Mate, I'm sure it costs something like that.
What, to buy the boat?
Well, get the boat, everything. That's what this Lee Spence said to me.
150 grand.
It's a lot of fundraising that.
It is actually, yeah. Why'd you, yeah. Can you not get, but that's all donations. That's not come out of your, I suppose if you wanted
if I had it, if I had 150 grand, I would not be fucking using it to row the Atlantic. Now I think, you do like sponsorships, obviously get it people on the side of the boat, like, a company's name and stuff. And
Yeah.
and maybe go and do talks for them and things like that.
You should do that, yeah.
Oh, mate, I'd love to.
What would Ian say?
He's up for it.
Is he up for it?
Yeah, he's up for it, but he's not good with the finding the money and the sponsorship and the network.
I thought you were going to say he's not good with water.
Nah, he's a strong lad. He's a strong guy.
Mate, that would be quality. That really would.
The problem I've got now with goals, right, is I've got so many cool mates who are doing cool stuff, and it becomes a bit of a dick swinging competition. It's like, oh, I can't do that. He's done it. Like me mate Lee, top lad, really nice guy. He's just rode the Atlantic in like 52 days, broke 2 world records, and this is how nice of a guy he is. He's like, mate, if you want to do it, I'll tell you everything you need to know. So he's prepared to help me, which is really nice. But it's like, just copying him, aren't I? I've got a mate at the moment who's climbing Everest with one leg. It's like, oh, can I just be copying him? Like, I've got a lot of cool mates who are doing cool shit, and it's like, you don't want to step on the toes a little bit, do you?
What about Everest? Would you climb Everest?
I'd love to, but again, that costs thousands as well.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
You need to get a good team around you, good sponsorship and stuff like that.
And those Sherpas are just mad, aren't they? Are they able to just...
And mate, with goals as well, right? Again, I feel I've been really negative. They need to snap out of it. But with goals, what you're talking about, that when we spoke in the past, that Paul Cheatham, he's saying about, you earn 20 grand a year, you want to earn 30 grand, you want to earn 40.
And then you're never happy, yeah.
It's like with goals for me, you do this 10k record, you do it, and then it's like, right, what next? And then I've got a mate who rode the Atlantic. Okay, right, I want to do it quicker. He's climbed Everest, I want to do it too. And
yeah,
do you know what I mean? I think it's hard, isn't it, to be happy and just go, you know what, I'm happy.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, I think.
That is what, without meaning to sound so wishy-washy, but that is a goal of mine, to just be, just completely content.
Yeah, content's the word, yeah.
And, whether that's either financial or not, it's just be content, And I feel like it's sad, but I think a lot of old people do that very well. Like my grandma, complete, not the one in the home, the other one, just content, sees family, doesn't have a nice house, doesn't have anything crazy, just content, not worrying about what other people think.
Yeah.
That's a big one as well, I think.
Yeah, not caring what people
not
think,
giving a Frenchman's fuck about what that is.
I think I'm not too bad at that already, I think. I don't care a lot what people think. A few people, obviously.
Yeah,
I wouldn't lose too much.
Yeah, it's just,
I reckon you're bothered.
Well, I just hate it. When people send messages on Instagram saying about me not, like, I wish I hadn't fucking opened my mouth about that.
What you mean?
About
so if someone
drinking on stag do or something.
Oh yeah, Tom's getting loads of shit for that, which is brilliant. So keep it coming. The amount of tweets and messages. No, but on a serious note though, if someone tweeted and said,
just be like,
you're genuine, right? If someone tweeted and said, just listen to the latest leg of podcast. Love Andy, think he's great, but that Tom's a bellend.
Yeah, of course.
No, genuinely.
Yeah.
Would it really bother you?
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Would it?
Yeah, it would. Fucking, I'm going to get it now. Your clan are going to... Your clan have already latched onto me.
I would not give a fuck, me, I honestly wouldn't.
No, I just think it would more be I just think, I wonder why, though. Why? That's what...
Like self-reflection, you'd be...
but I'm not part of that world, do you know what I mean? I'm not like... I haven't... people don't tweet me out at random asking, I'm just talking, I'm not like 14,000 followers on Twitter or anything like that. Or
it's still nothing though, and it's not like...
Well, yeah, I know, but it's like, you're more normal, you're sort of more used to that world than I am. Do you know what I mean? If people just... Mate, even people now who send me a message, I'm like, Jesus Christ, someone's like, I don't know, who's sent me a message. It's a bit mad.
I have arguments all the time on Twitter, mate. Some fucking cheeky bastard, right? Listen to this. I put on Twitter the other day, anyone got a spare for Cardiff? Liverpool playing Cardiff, which will have been yesterday when people are listening to it. Some kid, I say kid because he must have been out 15, 16, messages me, slides into me DMs, not even follow me, slides into me DMs and says, I can sort you a ticket for Cardiff. It's in the home end with me and my dad, but I can sort you it. I said, brilliant, how much? He says, how much are you willing to offer? And I said, I'll offer you a slap for trying to rip me off, you cheeky bastard.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, right I did. He said, well, I'm getting offered loads here. And I said, well, you're ripping off other footy fans. I said, I've had a season ticket this season. There's 2 games I couldn't go. And I give it to me mates for face value. Like...
Yeah.
And this fucking 15, 16-year-old kid's trying
He's got the cheek.
Got the cheek to try and fucking charge me hundreds of pounds. And his excuse was...
Does he not know who you are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't drop that one, thankfully. But yeah, so I just give this lad, I just said, you know, fucking cheeky bastard and all that. I couldn't give a fuck what he thinks of me or whatever now. Do you know what I mean? Or anything.
There's a really good book by Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of
Not giving a fuck.
Yeah. Have you read it?
No, I've heard of it though.
It's really good. Because there's a fine line between just being an absolute bellend of like
not caring what people think. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Here's a good question. What do you think is more important, to be liked or respected?
Probably respected, yeah.
Would you say respected?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
I'd say liked, you know. And the only reason I say that is because if people like you, you'd like to
define
think that.
What? Give a statement between the difference of, like, so say if I said to you, God, Andy's a really nice chap, him. Doesn't necessarily mean you respect me though, does it? Yeah. Yeah, like,
for example, so you might go, you know, you've got a boss and you go, this company was on its arse and he's come in and, you know, it's flying now, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
also, but he's a fucking dick though.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What would you prefer to be? Someone could go, you know what, I can't knock him, great at his job, he's fucking hell, really well respected and all that, and great family man and looks after his, but fuck Mel, he's fucking
alright, yeah, you've swung it, liked.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Because I'd like to think if you liked well enough, people will respect you. Do you know what I mean? But saying that, like, you could go the other way, is like maybe Conor McGregor, you could go, I like him.
Or I think Floyd Mayweather, like,
I don't respect how maybe he is, or the things you hear about him and see about him. Maybe
I think for me it would be like Floyd Mayweather. Like, I respect him because he's fucking incredible, but when he's, you know, give it a rest about the money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is. I think that's probably one of the only sort of little industries where you can be sort of showy off for the purpose of being showy. Like, I hate that. Like, I really hate that.
I like it, you know.
Do you? Yeah. There's nothing worse than someone...
But I think, though, in sport, anyway, I mean, if I saw someone in real life, like in the pub, showing off like that, being a dick, I probably wouldn't like it. But I like people like...
it's weird, isn't it, how that's not liked? It's like, isn't it weird that... Because I hate it, first off, just to be clear, but isn't that weird that, like, people don't like that? You know, it's weird, I think. But
some people do, though. And the kind of people I'm putting in that category is someone like Floyd Mayweather, you know, Conor McGregor, Liam Gallagher, you know, people who are a bit like, fucking, I'm great and so fucking what? I like that cockiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like cockiness like that, but I don't like it when there's money involved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Going.
Yeah.
I hate that. Fucking hate it.
It's funny, isn't it? How, like, you know what pisses me off as well about people like that? The sense of everyone's pissing me off today. But, you know, people will go and, you know, make Floyd Mayweather money, make Conor McGregor money, make Liam Gallagher money by buying their fights, buying their albums, buying this and liking all this stuff, but they won't go and buy the fucking mate stuff or a local business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make them money. It's like people will... Did you see that thing on Instagram the other week? And it was like an egg. It was like, make this egg the most liked egg in the world or something. It had like millions and millions of likes.
What, it was just a picture of an egg?
Just, yeah, something like that, yeah. Just a few months back now. And people are like, you know, comment and getting the friends to like, and you think, fucking hell, like, your mate there's just had a baby or something, you can't even be happy for them, but you're fucking like an egg or something. You know, that type of fame thing people want to be a part of, but they don't want to, it doesn't come back
with their own circle.
Yeah, with their own circles, yeah. They're too busy looking at like, oh, wow, I want to be part of this. And
yeah, people can be very, especially if like people put about new cars on Facebook. People can be very funny about that, can't they? And you know, but
how long have we been going for?
1 hour 16.
I don't even think what have we actually spoke about. I just feel like I've waffled.
No idea. We'll come to Mr. Kim's another day.
No, we should talk about it now. This is one of Tom's goals, what we spoke about. So, can you see that? If anyone who's listening on the podcast, it's basically called Mr. Kim's Rocket Fuel. Fucking hell. It's a chili, sauce. Hang on. It's a chili sauce designed in the bunkers of the greatest country known to man.
DPRK.
Democratic Tom, what the fuck, mate? Honestly, what?
Let me just explain. Let me give you a.
Look at that.
Let me give you a backstory. My
goal.
So I've sort of let me talk you through my buying and selling career, because there's been a lot of buying and not too much selling. So I had this sort of everything from selling bikinis, sold those triangle bikinis, which literally sold like rocket fuel. Like
fuck all.
No. Honestly, it went mental.
Did it?
Triangle bikinis, but they were knockoff triangle bikinis here on eBay. Mate, it was insane.
We should do some little business ventures, me and you.
Honestly, it was insane. Mate, I'm game for it. Honestly, anything.
Yeah.
Did that. I've done loads. Done all sorts. Vacuum bags, car mount holders, selling on Amazon. They were
very entrepreneurial.
They went very well, actually. That was quality, actually, and hence why I studied Mandarin at China in uni, is it in a night school thing, was because I thought, listen, this is my ambitious but rubbish sort of streak coming out. I thought, I'm sure I told you, who else is going to have the balls to learn Mandarin to be able to get cheaper stuff from China to flip in this country? I thought, no one. I thought Tesco, they've got nothing on me now. I'm going to approach these Chinese manufacturers and thought, listen, they'll as soon as I whack out ni hao ma, I thought they'll
boom,
they'll love it. What I forgot to realise is that Costco, Tesco, Walmart, they'll just fucking pay someone.
Yeah, they might already have people on the books doing that.
So yeah, done everything, and then I saw the Kim Jong-un meeting, the original meeting, which I think was in June last year, which was in Singapore. I thought, there's got to be something to latch on, because I've always quite had the thought of latching onto things, you know, that are in the news and stuff like that, because I thought it's a good way to. So anyway, I thought, what can I do with that? And so I knew that they were meeting a second time. So in between that Singapore time, which I think was June, and a few weeks back when they met in Vietnam, there's got to be something. What can there be? There's got to be something that I could sort of latch onto. I thought hot sauce.
Why hot sauce?
Because I initially had vodka, Mr. Kim's vodka.
It's more Russian though, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I thought hot sauce would be. So sure enough, went to a manufacturer in Cornwall to do the actual hot sauce.
Hang on, talk me through this process. We should have just done the whole podcast about this, by the way. So, you go to Cornwall or you ring someone?
No, just find online. Just type in private label hot sauce. So, like a lot of companies do that, don't they? So, like, if Tesco want to do their own brand of Tesco Value cornflakes or whatever, they'll approach a manufacturer like Kellogg's or whoever it is, and then just manufacture them under their own brand. So it's exactly the same thing with that. So yeah, call up, said, listen, I wanted to do this hot sauce, and he said, yeah, not a problem. I didn't tell him what it was for, because I thought straight off the bat he's gonna
rob your idea.
Yeah. I did approach someone else, and they said, what is it for? And I said, well,
I'm not prepared to disclose that information.
You know, when someone starts a conversation with, well, you know.
Yeah.
So, and they said, no, we want nothing to do with it.
Did they?
Yeah. They said they don't want anything to do with it. They thought probably some
politically incorrect or something.
No, they thought North Korea fucking agents will be.
And I don't get pictures of me holding this. Will be going viral next week.
Yeah. So I called this and the actual hot sauce that's in that is named. It's dreadful, isn't it? It's named after a site in Cornwall where people fucking commit suicide.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You went fucking all in on this, haven't you? So come on, how much are you banging these out for?
£5.
A £5? What with postage and packaging or what?
No.
So what's postage and packaging about? £3 or something.
£3, yeah. I need to put them on eBay actually.
So if you want to spend about £7-8 and you want some of them,
but honestly, it's a cracking. That's your bottle. You can have that. But honestly, a cracking. It's so nice. The sauce, really, really nice.
You know what? I would love. This is the first time we've asked kind of social media for something. I would love if someone could go to Nando's this week and smuggle in their own Mr. Kim's and just get a little photo in Nando's with Mr. Kim's.
I did say, mate, that's a quality idea actually.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I did think of putting it in supermarkets and stuff like that, and I thought, but if someone can do it for
how amazing would that be though? Someone just took a selfie with this in Nando's as they're pouring it on.
Mate, I took it to Manchester yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do people like it? I mean, I don't like chili sauce.
Yeah. No one tried it.
Quite the entrepreneur, Tom.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So yeah, I just thought, fuck it, for the sake of however much it cost me to do, I thought, fuck it, I like doing things.
Yeah, it's funny.
Throw enough shit at the wall and something will stick.
Yeah, you'll get something one day. Yeah.
But yeah, no, my car mounts were really good. I did Bluetooth headphones as well. That was good. Fucking expenses in it.
This actually, funny enough, links into the goals. Not though. So do you not think though, your goal of hoping something sticks? This sadly is flopped. Let's be honest.
Wait. I haven't even tried. Really.
Okay. Well, let's hope it doesn't flop.
I will. I need to.
I'm gonna put an Instagram on this about it today. Hopefully, it'll boost sales at like 2,000.
It's not even for sale. I need to put it on eBay. I did have the website and everything set up, but then it was costing me £22 in Shopify fees. So I thought, I'd knock it on there.
Yeah, but the point is, you talk about goals. You say about this sauce. Let's just say this. Hopefully, it does work. But let's just say you keep on doing 1 or 2 of these ideas a year, and in a couple of years' time, something fucking hits. That whole journey would feel better unless it was a one season wonder.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
I know what you mean. Yeah. To be fair, I did think I hit the home run initially, not with the bikinis, but with doing car mounts, because it do through Amazon FBA. Basically you send it to Amazon. You have a listing and Amazon ship it, pack it, do everything for you. So you don't have to do all the bullshit of packing it in, because that is the tricky.
That's what I have to do with my books, yeah.
Yeah. Then go to a post office. And I did that with, I had women's clothes. Women's clothes. Jesus, yeah. I had women, it's all coming back to me now. I had women's clothes, leggings, everything.
All from China?
All from China, yeah. Oh, what was his name? A guy sold it me. Yeah, ship it airmail, yeah. So, what was his name?
So what did you think you'd hit the big time with then?
With car mounts. I saw like 4,000 or 5,000 in 1 month. Bang, bang, bang.
Did you?
Yeah, mate. It was fucking flying.
What do you mean a car mount?
You know where you put your phone, so when you're driving, you can have like your sat nav on and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you attach it to the windscreen.
Yeah,
well, this was you had 3 options with this. So this is.
Have you still got any?
Yeah, mate. I've got.
I'll buy one off you.
I had the fucking perfect idea. I thought, what can I name this? What can I name this car mount? This brand? Fucking Aoodle.
Aoodle?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I have no idea why. Yeah, but mate, those car mounts flew.
How many did you sell?
Mate, I sold in total about 25,000, 30,000.
Fuck off.
I swear on my life, mate. I'll show you. Mate, I spent 30... I don't, mate. Yeah, I'll be honest. I spent 30 grand in advertisement fees because it was going that well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, mate, it was fucking... And then the factory wouldn't supply them anymore because someone had bought the rights to it for the whole of Europe or something. Yeah.
Fucking hell, I would have thought that was the
big... all airmail, sending it constant. Sending it to my mum's house.
How many at a time were you bringing over?
The problem is cash flow is a big issue. Cash flow is
tight. Yeah, you spend all your money to get it out, and then you having to wait.
Yeah, cash flow is the biggest problem in any business. But like cash flow, there was, so I was bringing in 2,000 at a time. But from order to on my doorstep was 2 weeks really.
All right.
Which was because I had to do it by airmail because I couldn't have stock or money tied up for 9-10 weeks being on the sea. You know, with the stock being on the sea. So, mate, it was insane. I thought I remember seeing some of the sales whatever coming in, thinking, fucking, I knew it, hit the big time straight up.
That's exciting though, man.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, I love stuff like that. I love buying and selling stuff like that. I fucking love it. You know, just finding something.
Little trend, yeah.
Yeah.
But how did you go to China? How did you find like a place in China?
Just did that, mate. I hit it lucky actually. Basically, what I did is just find manufacturers online, just order some samples from them. So right, $60 US for some samples, but get ones from different manufacturers. See if you like the look of them. I gave them to a few people. They're like, yeah, this is quite good. This I was like, what's the problem? Like, is there any issues with it? Like, what does work? What doesn't work? What would you change? What wouldn't you change? Yeah, and so literally,
that's quality, man.
gave them tested them, and then said, right, let's have it.
And how were you selling them yourself?
Just through Amazon.
How were you marketing them?
Just through Amazon.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, nothing else. Mate, Amazon's just insane. Like, I can talk about Amazon for a decade, but I mean, as a business and how many people are on that site, I actually don't realise how much stuff is bought on there. When I on that Prime Day, right? On the Prime Day, I'd sold 500 units, 600 units, 12 quid each, and you're thinking to yourself, like, how is that? That is just one little car mount, right? That, you know, of as niche as that is, the amount of money that must go through that site every single day.
Yeah.
People earn big livings off Amazon. The problem is pricing. It is a bit of a race to the bottom because unless you get
with my book, because they know once you buy one item, you'll probably buy another one. Fucking my book sells for 16 quid, but you can buy it on Amazon for like 13, 14 because they know you're going to buy other stuff, so they can afford to drop the price on it. Yeah. So you'll buy it off Amazon and you won't buy it from Waterstones. Yeah. Because I set up, because I wanted to sell fancy dress stuff, but there's a fancy dress big company who own the rights to everything. So like, you know, if you've got a kid's fancy dress, it's probably like Marvel. Or like, I can't remember the name of the company. Anyway, they own the rights to Disney and everything. So Disney will send them the design or whatever, and then they'll make it under there. And so they have the rights to it. So I tried to sell that because I thought, this will be a piece of piss, this. So I set up a business, On Point Fancy Dress Limited. Hired a room in Manchester for an hour for 30 quid. Contacted the manufacturer and said, listen, I want to sell some of your fancy dress stuff. They said, what's your business say? I said, On Point Fancy Dress Limited. They said, where are you based? I said, Central Manchester. So anyway, so they sent a rep down. They sent a rep to the office. I just rented this office out. Like, it was so fucking embarrassing. The office that I'd rented out was like a big meeting room, like 16 fucking chairs, like that. He said, what are you doing here? I said, yeah, just a bit of, you know, buying and selling and stuff like that. He said, where you... Because I thought, fucking, it's just embarrassing to even talking about it. So. Go on, I'm like proper intrigued with this.
Yeah. So anyway, people still send. Mate, I get the Google. So what does
rep come down to you and stuff?
This rep, because I thought, if I'm going to sell some fancy dress stuff, I thought I need to look the bee's knees. Yeah. Stupid. Fucking stupid. What did he do,
the rep, when he just turned up? Just thought, fucking hell.
He said, do you own it? I said, yeah. In this office, it was so embarrassing to looking back, but
that's real entrepreneurial spirit.
But yeah, to be fair, he said, yeah, of course. He said, where are you about to sell them? I said, just markets and stuff like that, because they want legitimate. You know, they don't want fancy dress stuff on Amazon, because it's a race to the bottom with pricing. Yeah. Because if you've got 80 different sellers, it's constant, bang, which they don't want. But
I love all stories like that. Have you read the story of the guy who there's a transport delivery service or something, like an American one. What's the big American one?
FedEx.
FedEx, yeah. Have you heard how that started?
No.
So the guy, it was again cash flow, like you've just said, and he was down to like his last 30 grand in a business account, and to get the plane going, to drop everyone's stuff, to get the next orders or something, whatever it was, they just couldn't survive another month. They were fucked. But he knew he was onto something. He was like, this is gonna be big, but I just need to survive a little bit longer. And so he drew all the money out, went to Vegas, gambled a night, like got his 100 grand that he needed to keep him going for the next couple of months, and then the rest is history.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Google it, FedEx.
That is mad. That. Have you seen the arrow in FedEx? Have you seen it?
Is this something to do with Castaway or something?
Yeah. No. I'll show you another time. But there's an arrow that you'll never even suspect. You'll never even realise that is in FedEx. There's an arrow, yeah, in the logo.
Yeah, no, I just love those stories.
It was a good call a cracking call by FedEx to being Castaway. Imagine pitching to the board. Listen, we've got to fill, but your plane will fucking crash. Are you up for it? Nah.
You know what companies do like that though for advertising? I heard a story once that, you know, where I don't know how true this is, that Google paid Sex and the City to be in the script. So you know that phrase, or just Google it. Really? It was them that started it.
Fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Apple used to do it a lot with putting their computers in films.
Really?
And
yeah.
Sony did it a lot. Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How many ways there are to make money.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Shanghai recently to do that talk for Nike, on the way back, they told me business class, so I stood at the bar on this flight having a beer with these two fellas. One of them flew to Shanghai every 6 weeks to buy oak doors.
Really?
That was it. And he's fucking turning over millions. The other guy flew to China every 6 weeks to buy you know, on the end of tractors and stuff, like the metal bit at the end, like that picks it up.
Oh right, yeah.
He fucking buys them.
Mate,
turning over millions, tens of millions of pounds, fucking oak doors and bits for the tractor.
It's mad, isn't it?
I was just like, I didn't even know there was a fucking market to make money like this.
There was literally money floating around everywhere, isn't there? And the Chinese do it. Mate, the Chinese, Jesus Christ, whenever I used to order things from China, like, fair play, they do not mess about, the Chinese. Like, they're up fucking all hours working. You think it's like 4 a.m. they're replying to messages.
Yeah. Nah, I love all, like, good, cool, like, different stories like that.
Yeah. No, I'm always thinking of stuff like what can I fucking start selling now? Mate, I had water bottles. That's another one. Water bottles, they were all right, but the margins were too thin on water bottles.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I wanted women's clothing was a good one because I thought of hit the home run from the bikinis and thought, the next Misguided.
You never know, do you?
No, you never know. But mate, you need some serious, you need some serious cash behind you. But little things like that, little products, sound like, I think that is the best way for anyone to, or eBay or anything like that. You can just buy things off, even flipping off pound stores to then flip on Amazon. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like retail arbitrage and stuff.
My mate had this idea to do a shop, and he said just call it seasonal. And he said just have a shop and then just have stuff just for that season. So, it'd just be open like Christmas time, you just have all that.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't sell nothing else, just all Christmassy stuff. And then like in the summer, you just sell all like your summery stuff, your garden stuff. But it wouldn't have nothing in all year round. It would just constantly change every few months.
Yeah.
To whatever that season was.
It's a good idea.
I thought that was quite a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's having just the balls to go and do it, isn't it?
Yeah. And a lot of the time, the money as well.
Yeah.
You need to buy stock for that, and
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like even just if you, even if you think of just this podcast, you think how much is just on the table here that you needed really to. All right, we could do it on the cheap if we really, really wanted to. We could have a shitty mic, but cameras aren't the best. But
it's a few grand straight away, isn't it? Before you even start.
Yeah. Right, mate.
Yeah. Well. Enjoyed this, mate. Bit of a waffling.
You
know how it's funny, mate, because it felt like that agony aunt chat that we joked about at the start.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So thank you.
And we've got some Leg It Podcast merch as well, merchandise, which
keep your eyes peeled this week
yeah.
on the social media.
Yeah.
Next week, next few weeks guests as well. We've got a jockey coming on. We've got a stunt woman coming on. We have... They're the two. Definitely.
Someone sent me a message about getting... what's the guy off Line of Duty? The Scouse guy?
Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be good.
I've met him. He's a nice guy.
Have you?
Got his number, actually.
Have you actually?
Yeah. Mate, don't mess about me.
Oh, fucking hell.
Give him a little text every now and again about the Redmen.
Do you actually?
Yeah, genuinely, yeah. He's done the voiceover for me.
Did he?
Yeah. He's a really nice guy.
Would you ask him?
Could do, yeah. I'll ask him to get fucking Tom Hardy as well, shall I? Yeah, no, it's an exciting few weeks for guest wise, and all the sorry mate, all the stuff's on YouTube as well. We put upload everything onto YouTube, do a little few clips and stuff like that, and so click subscribe button on YouTube, and you can view all the stuff on YouTube as well, and leave reviews and stuff like that, and follow the Leg It Podcast on Instagram, the Leg It Podcast on Twitter. Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
That's it.
Right. Thank you, mate.